Let's kick off our first session with Kim Wunner, the CEO and business leadership coach and consultant at Kim Wunner Consulting. She's going to share how to proactively stand your ground once you know what it is that you want and need. Kim, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here.
Excellent. Just one other thing to mention. Kim and Sarah O'Hannison from So Productive are hosting a Leadership for Women workshop that is going to be on November 14th. There's the live workshop is from 12:30 to 1:30 Eastern time, and then there'll be Q&A and open discussion with coaches from 1:30 to 2. And then after that, they're going to have a series of what they're calling tribe meetings, which will start on December 12th. I will actually put the link for the information into the chat. Take it away, Kim.
So, Deb, I heard you talked about what is our ground, standing our ground, and if nothing can be changed until it is faced. And isn't that the truth? I think that's with everything. It isn't just with careers, it is with relationships and careers and our habits, our diets, our politics. It is the macro and the micro that first it has to be faced. And it absolutely is a time of reckoning. I'm seeing it all across the country, all across the world, in groups like today, where we are elevating how serious we are in standing our ground, that it is time for a change. And that's what we're going to look at together a little bit this morning. So in order to stand your ground, first, you need to know what you want. And then we need to know how to get there. When I think of standing my ground, it is in defiance to a story that I no longer believe, that I choose not to believe. I stand my ground every day with every action to no longer bind to a story, but to make my own. And the story is the one that we have inherited, is the one that we've been born into. We are living in a story we did not create. We're talking about all the isms. We're talking about patriarchy. We're talking about a social construct that dates back 5,000 years ago, where women were at the bottom. All of society, all of the business world, all of our culture across the globe, that ethos, that patriarchy is baked in. It is at our core. And now it is uprooting. The idea that you are anything less than fabulous and that you deserve anything less than your own story and what you can imagine, that idea is the one that is eroding us, and that's the one we're standing our ground against. When we think about what we can imagine, a healthy planet, we can think about our healthy communities and the people we love. We talk about reproductive freedom. We talk about representation in all aspects of business. We talk about our voices being heard and our life is directed. But this has to do with power, and it has to do with leadership. We cannot talk about one without the other. So we're going to get into some tools, but before we do that, I want you to start percolating in the back of your mind, what is it you are standing for? We have to know that first. So keep that in the back of your mind. In the next few minutes, I'm going to come back to you and we're going to write that down, and we're going to dive into that a little bit more and get you really acquainted with what it is you are standing for, because that will guide you as you interact with all this fabulous lineup of my colleagues today. So let's get into power. When I'm thinking about standing my ground, I've been thinking a lot about power lately. I've been studying it, reading about it, and diving into power. Scholars commonly make a distinction of 3 types of power. Okay, first is power over, which is the ability to dominate another person or a group. This means if it was a sentence, it would say, I can make them do something. This type of power leads to domination, delegation of resources, and it's the type of power that kind of has gotten us where we are right now, the kind of the world where it is. Power 2 is the second type of power, and that's the ability to do something on your own. It refers to your abilities. If it was a sentence, it would be, I can do something. Sources of this kind of power are your intellect, your knowledge, your talent, your intuition, your experience, your stamina. It is self-resourced. The third type of power is power with. This is the power of people working together to solve a common problem. If it was a sentence, it would be, we can do something together, and it requires mutual empowerment. If we're going to stand our ground, we need to exercise power to and power with. This type of power emphasizes the things that we are innately good at, the things that are referred to as our soft skills, which are really power skills. Active listening, time management, adaptability, communication, collaboration, mentoring. These are all the things we are good at. These are role agnostic skills. They enable all individuals to interact effectively, to navigate change, and drive overall success in a workplace. Which sounds like leadership, doesn't it? Leadership isn't just that you are a master at your skills, that you've learned how to do something. Yes, that is important, but it is these other skills that allow us to interact effectively, navigate change, and drive overall success in a workplace. So leadership. Leadership is the courage and the imagination to see beyond just the way the things are, to how they can be, how they should be, and how they will be when we stand our ground. And when we step into our power, and we combine it with leadership, now we're cooking. So right now, we're going to dive into the tools, but I want you to make no mistake that this is inner work. This is a call for us to really rise up and take leadership. Now, I know we're tired. I know we've heard a lot about oppression and patriarchy, and we can't open the paper without hearing something devastating. And we faced it our entire life. We have felt it our entire lives from when we were girls. So we can't, what we should be, how things should be. But we need to know that we are resilient because we are women. And in order to stand our ground, we're coming from our own resiliency. And that is our superpower. These cords of resiliency have woven through history. They braid together over the ages. And we're bringing all that forward. And we're doing it here, all 300 plus of us across the globe in this conversation. We're going to braid those cords together. So let's get started. So this is the first tool I'm giving you. And this goes into your, what are you standing for? You need to know your what and your why. If you're going to stand your ground and you're going to be in a leadership position, which all of you are, then you need to know what you stand for. And I want it to come from your heart. I don't want you to second guess it. I'm giving you 2 minutes. I want you to write it down. Piece of paper, on your computer, on your phone, anything you've got. Write down strongly. What are you standing for? So the next one, we know our what. I want to know your why. I want you to write that down. Take about a minute. Write down your why. Why are you standing for this? Your why is really what gets you out of bed. Your why moves you to the point where, God, I think about my why and it makes me shiver. I want to say it makes me puke. It's so wonderful. It's so powerful. What is your why? Nice, Jill. Boosting female entrepreneurship, to be a mentor to other women in the industry. Yes, Lois. That's what we need. This is the community we're building, right? Again, we're braiding our resiliency. Oh my God. Yes, I'm standing for strong willpower and making the way for a younger girl child gender finding their path in the industry. My family. All right. This is what moves us. Look at these things. We're talking about family. We're talking about community. We're talking about collaboration. This all goes back to what I mentioned above. These are the things we are innately good at. They literally live inside us. So now, with your why and your what are you going to do with that? I want you to put it where you can see it every day. Put it next to your computer, put it on your mirror, put it on your wall, somewhere your eyes go every day. I want you to align to it every day. Mine's on my wall in front of me, so when I look at my computer, it's right above me. So post it, love it, feel it, and make it alive and real, coming back to this moment when you wrote it down. Okay, that was the first big exercise. I'm going to read this one. I stand for kindness, hard work, productivity, fostering unity, respect diverse beliefs, love inclusivity, and building a welcoming and strong community. Jessica, that's beautiful. Okay, so the next thing you need to do is you need to surround yourself with support. Again, we talked about braiding the cords, which is what we're doing right now, that cord of resilience. So what that looks like could be a peer group. It's this community, this 300 plus women who have signed up here today, the 10,000 women that are in Girls Who Print. It could be your partner, it could be family, friends. We need to share what we're standing for and find like-minded people so that we feed that energy together. It might be a mentor. Deb talked about her inbox being flooded with things that are offensive and deflating and lies. Well, flood your inbox with other things. Find things that support you every day and reinforce that what and why that you see every day. So that is becoming more and more real. Standing your ground is about moving. It's about moving forward. And that's why we're here today at this conference. In this collective, we have a community, we have support, we feed on the energies of others. And that's where we're going to get the courage. And I think that's what women have always done. We've always come together. Now, we all feel excited, maybe, I hope. We feel energized, we are connected. We get all fired up. And you're going to have a whole conference today for more of this, but then we're going to go back to our lives. And I don't know about you, but when I leave things like this and I'm excited and I feel powerful and I feel engaged, but then life kicks in. So when Deb and I talked about this, and then Sarah and I talked about this, Sarah, you're going to hear from at the end of the day, Sarah Hannison is an amazing productivity coach. We talked about that and how we don't want that, and we're going to change that dynamic so that the passion and the leadership we're talking about today and from all these colleagues can start really taking shape and form in a place of support. So Sarah and I are going to teach a workshop on November 14th about, and we're going to continue to teach them quarterly. The first one is on building the support you need to stand your ground. It's about networking and resilience. That's the title, but what that is the support you need. So when you walk away from here, if you sign up for that, you've already continuing the work. Next, after that, we're going to start running quarterly meetings called a tribe, which is exactly what it is. It is a tribe for all of you to join. It's going to be a give and get group. We're all going to know each other. We're all going to elevate and work together, building skills and sharing our resources together so that all these things that we stand for, accountability, responsibility, boosting female entrepreneurship, being mentors to others, ethical practices, being a voice, all for our family, our sons, our daughters, the new generations coming up. That is all taking shape and form in all our aspects and all our little corners of the world. We're all doing it and we're all coming together. So I know the links will be in the chat. I want you to consider that. I think I'm about time to wrap up. Um, thank you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Keep all day, talk about what you stand for. Let us see it. Let us feel it so that we can support each other. Maritza, we're going to put links to sign up for the quarterly meetings. There they are. And I can't wait to see you. Deb, I'm ready to hand it over. There you go.
Well, hang on
Hi.
one second before you
Oh,
hand it
yeah.
over, if you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
mind, if you have another second.
absolutely do.
I just want to thank you so much for dedicating the time that you did to create this message for everybody.
Hmm.
I was riveted by it. I am always I'm always so amazed at, oh, I run a organization for women and this, and then somebody like you like brings me back down to earth and makes me realize there's one thing to say it and there's another thing to do it and there's another thing to practice it. And I think that that is the biggest message that I got from you today. You
Hmm.
might not get it right on the first time, but I don't want to say fake it till you make it because you should always be, know thyself, right? But it's a matter of practicing those moments to say, that is not my story. That is not how I want to be characterized. That is not how I want to be spoken of or viewed, and to realize that it's up to us to make only we can make those changes. Nothing will change unless it's faced, and I'm telling you, it just has become a common theme this year.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's it, right? We're not gonna get it right every time. And sometimes we might miss the opportunity, right? But this is a progress and it's slow. All we need to do is stand our ground, right? And be committed to the thing,
Yeah.
right? That's all we need to do. The next will start to take shape and form, right? As we move along. And you're absolutely right. It's a practice. When we talk about a commitment, we talk about that if we're committed to it, it'll evolve over time, right? We're not talking New Year's resolutions that fade away in 6 weeks. We're talking about this is how we're going to operate in the world.
Right. And
Evolve.
part of it is believing it yourself, and you know it is sort of where it's a horrible expression, fake it till you make it, but other people say if you do things 28 days in a row, it becomes a habit and you just start doing it. And what if every day you looked in the mirror and like Stuart Smiley, like I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people love me. And you actually believe that about yourself. And it's easier to stand your ground on things when you have the practice of that is not who I am. That is not my story. I do not want to be part of this system anymore. I want to be my own person and create my own system with my own people. Collective is a fantastic word. It's very poignant because our next session is about a woman who created a collective of all women agencies, and the lessons she learned through that. But I think it'll be very powerful as well. I just want to thank you so much for your time. There's so many amazing comments in the chat. You just want to look through them. I know. I just want to say Kim is literally at another conference right now, but she found a place to join us before she goes, and is working with her community and is doing a big. What are you doing there? Tell everybody.
Oh, yeah, sure. Happily. It's a leadership skills for women half-day retreat. So we've got women in all different aspects of life. We're going to do some mindfulness and breakout. It's the same kind of thing about doing leadership differently. And we're spending the day looking at that definition of leadership, the imagination and courage to see things differently and know they will be, because we're going to make it different.
Yeah.
And how are we doing that? So we're just doing a lot of that in person today, much like you are. So I love that it's a Women's Leadership Day.
Yeah.
Um, And I have to tell you, I was like a kid in a candy store this morning being like, I get to do this all day. We're going to talk about this. And what a great way to start it is being part of today's I love that you're at Canon, by the way. That um and that you're coming live from there. Like, what a cool thing. Um and standing your ground. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing today.
Okay, well, thank you so much.